Michael Oldfield believes he's got the try. Let's come up for Duport, and this Duport going in for a double. And Daryl Millard is going to go in for another Catalan Dragons try. And Michael Oldfield has a hat-trick to crown a comprehensive win.
There's a bit of a score for St Helens to settle at the Stade Gilbert Brutus in Perpignan. Last year, the Saints suffered an amazing 42-0 defeat there as the Dragons ran hot. Saints are after revenge for that, and they want to reclaim second place in the Super League table. That's because Saints slipped down the table as a result of Wigan's 28-0 win over Castleford Tigers on Friday night. At the same time, Huddersfield Giants were beating Salford Red Devils 19-0. And on Thursday night, another hefty defeat for the Wakefield Wildcats, this time at Hull Kingston Rovers, 54 points to 6. Still games to be played, but at the moment the table looks like this. Leeds still top, game to come for them. Wigan move up to second, demoting Saints to third. Then it's Huddersfield, Warrington, Castleford Tigers, Hull Kingston Rovers, Catalan back up to 8th before they've even played. They were down to 9th. Salford's defeat means that Catalan go back up above them on points difference, and then it's Hull FC, Widnes, and the Wildcats adrift at the bottom. And still to come in round 14, we've got Warrington against Hull FC at 3 o'clock at the Hallowell-Jones Stadium on Sunday. And then a tricky trip to Widnes for the Leeds Rhinos, top of the table against the Vikings. They've got a good record against them, but Widnes tough to beat on their own patch this season. That's at 3 o'clock on Sunday at the Select Security Stadium. Catalan Dragons at team news. Todd Carney is back for them. That's a big boost. Missed the defeat last week against the Castleford Tigers, but they do have other problems with Duport, Oldfield, Pelissier and Pomeroy absent. Escaré at fullback, Cardas, Benjamin Garcia, normally a prop, plays in the centres alongside Willie Tonga. Fouad Yaha, the 18-year-old winger, continues. Carney and Duro in partnership in the halves. And in the forwards for the Dragons, Olivier Elmer, Henderson, Remy Cass, Burns and Luke Walsh. What a fascinating battle we've got coming up in the halves. Carney and Duro against Burns and Walsh. And then in the forwards, Kyle Amor, James Roby returns, having missed last week, Alex Walmsley, Louis McCarthy, Scarsbrook, John Wilkin, the captain, and Luke Thompson. And on the bench, Josh Jones, Mossy Massoy, Greg Richards and Andre Savelio, the coach, Kieran Cunningham. Well, as mentioned in that team lineup, no Ben Pomeroy, he is still out injured. So Laurent Freysinou has, again, pushed Benjamin Garcia out there, but from what we've seen of this guy, Barry, he can live up to expectations.
Well, he's certainly got the skills, he's got the speed, he's got the evasion and footwork. Loves to play on that right. We're guessing he's going to play on the right edge, which will have him facing Jordan Turner for St Helens, but what a weekend it was for him last weekend. His first hat-trick in his third season for the Catalan Dragons. The former Avignon player had a wonderful weekend last weekend against Castleford and will look to carry on this week.
And one of the threats from Saints, Terry, is in their centres, and he's missed a few games, but having Mark Percival back fit is a big boost for Saints.
Well, he's another youngster on shore this afternoon with enormous potential. Played 7 games this year out of 14. And he's a centre that creates opportunities for his outside man, but he can also score tries himself. He likes to run to the defensive line, he takes them on and he'll back himself. And he was one of the standout players, Bill, when they played against the South Sydney in the World Cup Challenge.
Well, it is a beautiful day in Perpignan by all accounts. Around 26 degrees, possibly a little bit warmer. Slight breeze blowing, but otherwise not a lot to complain about if you're in Perpignan to watch your Super League action this weekend. And the Saints fans who have travelled for this one will be hoping that their side can improve on last year's performance. 42-0. It was a stunning result in all sorts of ways, and it's great motivation surely for Saints, isn't it, to avoid that sort of humiliation again.
It is, Bill. I totally agree, and the players would have talked about that in the build-up to this game. And I think when Saints come down to the South France, knowing that they've got Luke Walsh and Travis Burns in the camp, playing alongside a very big physical set of forwards that they have got, but I can't wait for this battle between Scott Giroux and Todd Carney. Todd Carney coming back into the side, and I think it could be an incredible matchup, and whoever wins that little battle between them halves will go on to win this game.
Well, before last year's 42-0 defeat, in fact, Saints had won on each of their previous 5 visits to Perpignan, and overall they've got a great record. They've won on 6 of the visits to Catalan Dragons since 2006, so they leave the dressing room at the Stade Gilbert Brutus knowing that they generally have got the measure of this Catalan side. They've beaten them in round 1 of the season.
Well, they look very focused. You just noticed Adam Swift giving himself an uppercut, trying to perhaps get the blood rushing. The Catalan Dragons, they know that probably the power and the size is with St Helens, but if they can use that intelligence, I agree with you, Tez. Carney Giroux against Burns and Walsh, 4 Australian halfbacks, will have a massive bearing on this game.
Well, Giroux and Walsh just shaking hands in the tunnel there. Colleagues at one time at the Newcastle Knights, of course, so they know a lot about each other. These 4 players, Burns, he's a canny operator. Todd Carney's a canny operator.
And they respect each other now while they're lining up in the tunnel. They know who they're going to be playing against, but it's the 80 minutes, Bill. Friendship goes out the window. You're there to do a job, whether you're wearing a Saints shirt or you're wearing a Catalan shirt. And I think this is going to be an absolute fantastic occasion.
Even though Catalan, I mean, 8th in the table, we've said it before on these broadcasts. Home soil. Okay.
Home soil, Bill. They're a different side when they're playing at home. They've only lost once this year. They like to throw the ball around exactly the same as Saints. And if you look at Saints' side, they're full of youngsters. There's 7 lads that are aged under 22 years of age, so they're going into the Lions' Den here. Remy Casti, Elliot Whitehead, both players playing exceptionally well this year for Catalan. It's going to be game on.
Well, Catalan have won their last 2 home games against Widnes and Hull Kingston Rovers. They had the best performance was against the Warrington Wolves. Leeds, as you say, the only side to beat Catalan on home soil this season. This is the sort of game, though, that these players, and they shouldn't do this, but they would lift themselves surely for this, wouldn't they?
Well, when we talk about that Warrington game, it was Carney and Giroux who were in the halfbacks. A very important weekend as we pay tribute to a lost member of our family.
Well, that's right. The minute silence now at the Stade Gilbert Brutus, as well as everywhere else around the sport of rugby league this weekend, following the death of Danny Jones from that suspected cardiac arrest last Sunday afternoon at London Scholars. And he was just 29 years of age, and I'm sure that even in Perpignan, well, especially in Perpignan, that this minute's silence will be impeccably observed in memory of the player, and the Just Giving Fund, with the total mounting all the time to help Danny's wife Liz and their 5-month-old twins Bobby and Phoebe. So these players, French, English, Australian, side by side, will now observe a minute's silence.
Please join us in paying respect to one of the Super League's heroes by observing a minute of silence in memory of Danny Jones.
Well done, Perpignan. And Catalan Dragons prepare to take on St Helens. Travis Burns prepares to try and outdo Todd Carney and Scott Giroux. Carney has played just 4 of 13 for the Dragons. That's really been a serious blow to their hopes for this season. James Childs, match referee. Beautiful conditions, great travelling support for the Saints. But Not a bad weekend to be spending in Perpignan.
Perfect weather, isn't it? You talked about Carney and Scott Jadot. They've only played twice together in the Catalan shirt, and they've scored 78 points, or they've created those 78 points in those 2 games. So this is going to be an interesting battle. Tommy Makinson looks focused. Travis Burns, a no-nonsense halfback, and the captain for the Catalan club, Remy Casti.
We talked about Carney and Burns, Giroud and Walsh, but of course the forwards have got a lot to do with how that all shapes up, and these 2 packs now getting into each other as we're underway in Perpignan. And Saints, first touch of the ball, Walmsley it was, carrying it for them.
And Willie Tonga was happy he wasn't involved in that tackle, Bill. Remember the kickoff beginning of the year? It lasted 12 seconds, and the big Saints forward ran straight over the top of him.
Lou McCarthy-Scarsbrook playing out wide, plays the ball. Walmsley again in the thick of it. 4 tackles gone. Roby back in action, having missed the win against Wakefield last time out. And the kick's a good one. Escaré. Wow. What a kick that is. And Escaré, well, he's got out of trouble, but he's got back into trouble. What a great performance that is from Saints.
Fantastic kick. Inch perfect. Lands it on the diamond, and even better chase. As the old adage goes, a kick is only ever as good as its chase. And there were 3 Saints players in attendance. John Wilkin, the first man on the spot, he misses, but Adam Swift and Jordan Turner complete the task. Good start by St Helens.
That's pressure, that, Bill, isn't it? First the fabulous kick, then the chase. I agree with Barry, absolutely nowhere to go there. And this is the reward.
Head and feed at the scrum for Saints in the opening couple of minutes of this game, and Lou McCarthy-Scarsbrook rumbles that ball towards the posts for St Helens. Roby and Catalan Dragons on the retreat already as Carl Amor plays the ball. And they're going wide, and they're going in the corner with Swift. And what a start for St Helens. Swift with the try.
Well, I wonder if it's last year's results that's got them fired up. You see Luke Walsh comes from one side of the ruck to the other. The hands, the players in motion for Saints is just too much for this Catalan side. They were defending laterally. They weren't able to come up to put pressure and prevent Adam Swift from scoring the try. But just have a look at the numbers. The players coming up, all pushing out. Fabulous start. First of all, they get the ball back from an excellent kick from Luke Walsh. The chase was on, defence was outstanding. Then from the next set of 6, they scored the try.
4th of the season for Adam Swift. And the perfect start for St Helens. They could not have wished for better. Trapping Escaré, getting the head and feet at the scrum, and then taking full advantage of it. Swift getting back-to-back tries, his first for 6 games against Wakefield last week. So back in the groove. Now then Travis Burns from way out wide. Just off target.
And I agree, Tez. I think it's the bodies in motion, the deception, the uncertainty in terms of who's having the ball. And just watch Adam Swift as he scores that try. He collects a knee to the quad or calf. We have another look at the conversion. Looks to be limping in back play, Adam Swift. We'll just watch how that unfolds.
Saints supporters, well, they were probably in good voice when they got to the ground after a sunny day in Perpignan, and that's lifted their spirits even further.
Well, it's the perfect start, isn't it, for Saints? They couldn't have had a better start in this game. As Barry was talking about, when they were coming out the tunnel, they looked so focused, the Saints. Talking to a couple of the players before they went to the South France, they said that they were embarrassed last year. They didn't want any repeat of that in this game.
Well, we mentioned Carney back for the Catalan Dragons, but Luke Walsh's return is a big plus after breaking his leg last year and missing so much of, well, so much action. To have him back in the side, what he contributes.
Well, he was one of the stand-up performers last year, early on in Super League, wasn't he? I think everyone was tipping him for Man of Steel as Travis Burns was hit late.
There's a lot of pressure on the kicker. That's the reason Morgan Escaré possibly caught that ball on the full, and they can expect that all day. I think from both teams, they'll have identified in the week you can't give either one of these kickers, and I include all four, Carney, Giroud, Burns and Walsh, you can't give them time and space, or they will get a result similar to what Saints got when they got the field position for their first try.
Saints supporters in great voice. Here is Zebtea for the Catalan Dragons. 8th in the table, side expected to be among the top 4. And
Tap forward.
Yep. Referees brought that back, forward pass. Elliot Whitehead.
I think
Can't believe that.
Sorry, Bill, he'd made his mind up he was going to pass that ball, irrelevant of whether Elliot Whitehead was in front or behind.
Do you know, you can put this down, I think, to Saints' aggressive line speed. They're getting up really quick, they're putting pressure on the Catalan players, and you could see, well, here's the challenge from Remy Castille on Travis Burns, who didn't like it, but you can see the pressure, the speed of which the Saints forwards are getting off the line. I think Kieran Cunningham's worked really hard on that in the off-season. Make sure that they start winning those little battles.
Something upsetting referee James Child. Is it somebody behind the bowler's arm, Stuart?
I thought it might have been somebody bleeding, but it's obviously an issue with the hand, I think. Cheers, Pete.
Willie Tonga in the wars again against St Helens. As Barry said, that's opening game of the season, his debut. Got cleaned out in the first few seconds of the game. He's managed to settle into the Catalan side since then as the former Australian international, and then Saints come up with the error. First blot on their copybook.
Well, that'll be a poor mistake. Kieran Cunningham sure be shaking his head with this mistake straight from the ruck. I think it was Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook who comes onto the ball, comes off his shoulder, and then Zebtea, who can't bring the ball back in.
I think we've seen an indication of the game plan here with the line speed. I hope we don't see a shutout with both sides cancelling each other, afraid to give their opposition a half a yard.
Well, they've got the players who can still unlock that stifling defence. Catalan then trying to profit from that Saints mistake, the first one really of the game from the Saints side, who already lead by 4 points to 0. That Adam Swift try.
Again, look at
Henderson under pressure, claiming there was a Saints hand in there.
Well, the speed again from Luke Thompson.
It's a rumbustious start to this Super League game in Perpignan between the Catalan Dragons and St Helens. Zebtea, dying swan performance, and then Giroud flings a wild pass. It's still picked up by Jason Botteri, and it's on the last. They're keeping it alive. Cardas stabs a kick in. It's not a bad one out of nothing, and in the end Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook has to opt for safety first. Well, that's not a bad end to that set from the Catalan Dragons.
Well, isn't that the danger of Catalan? Keeping the ball alive. There's Scott Giroud, and then kicking the ball back inside Cardas. That's an excellent effort.
Am I being harsh there, Tez? I think Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook with a hand to it.
I think even if he takes that ball, he'd still get tackled behind the line.
I'd like to have seen him have a goal.
There are a couple of Catalan players closing down on LMS, so he opted safety first and a goal line dropout, and here comes Olivier Elmer building up a head of steam. Kyle Amor, the shaven head, making the tackle. There he goes in there, and once again involved. Lots of head and beard shaving going on in aid of the Danny Jones appeal. And a penalty goes the Catalan Dragons' way.
Well, James Child just saying that they didn't clear the ruck quick enough for his liking. And Catalan taking a quick tap here.
So an opportunity for Catalan to respond. That's good defence, great defence from Saints. And the referee claiming that there was a knock-on. Something is said, presumably by Ian Henderson, and the penalty is awarded.
Well, here we go. There's the pass. Elliot Whitehead catches it, fumbles it. Is that a knock-on, Stuart?
Well, I think that's gone backwards, and that's probably why they complained. Not saying it's right that they do complain, and that's why they've ended up with a penalty against them for dissent.
I think it was an attempted turn-up where a player will put his back towards the defensive line and pop it back up to a player returning, coming round, sweeping round, but it was a messy turn-up. And there's a bit of justice for you, Stuart.
Failed to find touch.
Now, again, that's another big mistake, isn't it? First of all, they made a mistake from the scrum, then they didn't find touch with this. That's the opening 10 minutes. 2 mistakes, and 2 valuable mistakes as well.
Some big hits going in there. Jason Bateri will take them. He is a tough, a classic nuggety figure. Here's Willie Tonga, but there's a reception committee for Willie Tonga. Remy Casti now. Back in Super League after his NRL stint, and little chip kick over the top. Zebtea will chase it, but it's too strong, and Makinson makes it dead.
I think he carries that over. Under the pressure from Zebtea. It's a good little kick.
James Child thinks the same. He's awarded the dropout and just asked the video referee to check his decision. I think he's right. I think he caught the ball before he put his foot down.
He had to catch that ball. I think it was Zebtea who was chasing hard. Kieran Cunningham and Sean Long just sending 1 or 2 messages down, tinkering a little bit with the thought process of the players in the action.
Video refs Adam Gill and Tom Crashley on duty.
Yes, two newish video referees. Certainly be put to the test today. I think he's caught that ball before he's put his foot down.
Before he's planted his left foot over the dead ball line.
Good decision by James Child.
And this is a part of the game that you can't get bored with. You can't get bored or go away from kicking the ball behind your opposition, turning them around and having a very good kick chase like they did on that occasion then.
Well, and it's not the greatest of goal line dropouts from Makinson. I think he was a bit upset with the decision that was made there. He seemed to be pretty animated about it, and Catalan immediately back on the assault, and Elmer slips the first tackle. Shannon McDonnell is there.
Sorry, Bill, that's good footwork, that.
And Catalan looking to profit from, well, a succession of mistakes from St Helens, you've got to say. After that fantastic opening, fired pass, finds Zebtea. So dangerous from this range, and still dangerous as he gets the pass away. Carney, sleight of hand from him. The ball out of the back door, and still they're keeping it alive. Here's Elliot Whitehead. Whitehead taking on Walsh, and they're trying to head him towards the sideline. Giroud juggles with the ball. Little kick chipped in, and that's a disappointing ending. And Carney is limping. Not again, he'll be thinking.
Yeah, he looks in some pain, doesn't he?
Lauren Fraser will be thinking, oh, sacre bleu. What have we got to do to keep this guy on the field? If he has got a problem, he's just getting back into the defensive line now at the bottom of your picture.
No, we're talking about Saints' defence early on, but because they're coming up so quick, I should imagine that Scott Giroud, Todd Carney can just chip that ball through. A nice little reminder to them that you can't come up that quick on us, give us a bit more space. And when Olivier Elmer steps through that gap, it's because the Saints forward were that quick coming up, they couldn't change the direction.
Big Alex Walmsley, all 6'5" of him. Plays the ball. Wilkin, little kick over the top, and Escaré puts the brakes on, and Jordan Turner puts the brakes on him.
Well, there we go. It's been probably about 10 minutes since the first kick came in. It were the same 3 players that made that first tackle, and we've had 10 minutes where Saints have had a little reminder of just what a threat Catalan are. They've not managed to post any points, but they have got the speed, they have got the threat, and they play with a cavalier as they do on that occasion there. They can trouble and really test this St Helens defence.
Is he the 14th man?
Cavalier.
There is the throwing caution to the wind deep in their own territory, the Catalan Dragons at times. And we've only had coming up to 13 minutes of the game.
And it could be the best friend or the worst enemy. If it comes off, then happy days. If it doesn't, then they're in trouble.
On the last, the kick is chased down, and it's gathered by Zebtea.
More possession for the Dragons.
He's got good footwork, hasn't he, Willie Tongue? I think Catalan have got a penalty here, and they can't get back the 10 metres. Playing the ball really quick, Catalans.
Penalty for offside there. We saw in the game last night there's been quite a few penalties for offside, so it's obviously a theme that's continuing throughout the weekend, which is good to see.
Scott Giroud, minus beard, just having a check with the referee, and the Catalan penalty. So Saints backtracking at the moment. Terry plays the ball, quick hands. Whitehead trying to get free of the grasp of Walsh. It's great defence, but Whitehead just stopped on the Saints try line. Henderson, Carney, short pass again, Zebtea. They're looking to get him away, but they're doing a good job on him so far. Mark Percival stopping him. Elmer gets the ball away, and they are in, and it's Garcia who will score again. A hat-trick last week, but the referee hasn't awarded it.
I think he's going to go upstairs to do it. I believe there was an obstruction there, Stuart.
Well, it certainly looked that way. Somebody came on an inside line, so this will be interesting. Interesting to see what happens here. There's the runner going in. Well,
it's Jordan Turner.
Jordan Turner goes into him, doesn't it?
You can make a case for Jordan Turner making a decision which
he goes
turns out to be the wrong one. Yeah,
he does. I think what the key to this is the depth on the runner behind, because I do think he catches it on the inside of his own man, which will be the key here.
Well, this is the best angle to see it at.
So he's caught it on the inside.
And well, he runs behind him, does it?
I think there's enough depth there. Jordan Turner is clearly being dragged into that tackle. I think this try should be given. Not sure what the referee sent it up as. Has he sent it up as a try? And it'll certainly be a testing challenge for the two video referees.
You could see Jordan Turner looking inside all the time at where the ball was.
Jordan Turner's definitely being dragged into that. I don't think he's responsible for that collision.
So the only thing here, Stuart, that they could be looking at is where they catch that ball there.
That's the only thing.
Contact's made.
He runs behind, but they've cleared that up a bit this year, and if it's consistent, then this try should be awarded, because it's certainly a long way away from where the collision happened.
In my opinion, that's just the wrong read by Jordan Turner.
And mine too.
James Child awaits the verdict from video refs. Gill and Crashley, the Saints players, wait to see what will go up in the big screen at the start. Gilbert Brutus, and it is a try for Catalan and Benjamin Garcia. His fourth in the last couple of games. Playing in the centres, young prop. That's how he's established himself in the Catalan camp. But he was there to finish off that Dragons move, and Saints just paying the price for a period where they've maybe just dropped off a bit after a great start.
And Tez made a great point about the line speed. Big steps, big powerful steps don't give you much time to adjust the direction that you're running in, and they ended up being in a little bit of strife because they'd misread one of those plays, one of those shifts. And we'll take another look at it after the conversion, but all kinds going on.
Giroud bang on target with that one, and Catalan from 4-0 down go 6-4 up.
And it's get up. On this occasion, they're on goal line defence. They're up and they hold. And Jordan Turner, who's a much better defender than that, he's asking for the video ref, but Benjamin Garcia scoring his 6th try of the season. What a rich vein of form this fella's in.
6-4 the scoreline then. And Olivier Elmer, who was integral in the build-up to that try with that nice run where he showed some great footwork. Still got it at the age of 31. Henderson bounces off one.
It's Big Mossy Masora who's on. He's come on from the bench, making his 44th consecutive appearance. Big Mossy Masora.
And he's cost his side a penalty.
Okay, line, guys. Wait on his foot, wait.
All the traffic seems to be with Catalans at the minute.
Great opening few minutes. Oh, nice
head clash with Travis Burns.
I think LMS punches him in the face, it looks like.
Well, he doesn't generally tend to chuck the towel in, Travis Burns. He is a tough cookie.
Oh, he split
as well. Yeah. A good split above his left eye.
He fractured his cheekbone against Hull Kingston Rovers, and I didn't know it at the time, I think, but insisted on staying on.
He's just tough, isn't he?
It's a bit of red sweat.
Round it. Get the tape round it. Footwork at the line, and you can see that. Well,
it's the left
must have been LMS
hand or fist. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a bit of red sweat. He won't bother about that, Travis Burns.
It's funny, I was reading a piece with Louis McCarthy Scarsbrook in the build-up to this game, and he said how much he's enjoying playing in the out wide, because you get to run at smaller guys. It doesn't hurt as much.
He's been a very good signing, hasn't he, Louis McCarthy? Since his move up north, played for England on 2 occasions. Whether he plays in the centre, whether he plays at prop or at loose forward, he gives it his all, whatever position he plays in, as does that man, Travis Burns.
I prefer him on an edge, if I'm honest. He can play in the middle unit as that front row, that loose forward. He wears 13, but I prefer him on an edge. He's very good in those one-on-one situations, got lovely footwork and a wonderful offload as well.
Here is Eleanor. Travis Burns patched up, back in action. And Elliot Whitehead off to become the latest Englishman to take up a career in the NRL when he joins Canberra next season. Carney, well, he's patched up. He's got a big strapping on his left thigh by the look of things. But he's carrying on out there, and that's another penalty going Catalans' way.
Well, that comes from the previous ruck. That Catalans earned this penalty because the 2 Saints defenders couldn't get set at marking for Ian Henderson to jump out the line. Then all of a sudden, as it's a quick ruck, Catalans just go forward. You can see a powerful run from Thierry.
Well, really interesting discussion there between Remy Casti and Scott Giroux. Casti was insistent that they go for 2 points. But they're going to get another penalty here, I think, Catalan are.
Offside again, that line speed, Bill, that we're talking about. They're not going to give any metres away, Saints.
Instead, they're coming forward. Quick play the ball. Cardas, little jinking run from him. He's heading towards the sidelines. It's Escaré, beg your pardon. Here is Cardas now. Garcia. Try scorer for the Catalan Dragons in this game. Saints supporters lifting their side in defence. Here's Zebtea, he's over, and he's on the scoreboard. What a threat he is, but kept him at bay. But he is such a prolific point scorer, and playing his 48th consecutive game for the Catalan Dragons. He crosses for his 6th try of the season.
And that's how durable that man is, Zebtea. Again, the ball at the line, clever play from Scott Giroux. Just takes a couple of steps, attracts the Saints defenders. As soon as that man gets it, Zebtea, He's got the confidence in his own abilities, the little shimmy at the line, which just holds up a couple of Saints players in Travis Burns and Mark Percival, stops their momentum from going forward, and as soon as that happens, they can't stop the Cook Island International from scoring that try.
And Tez, it's a reminder to St Helens. I'm sure Jamal Elise will be saying, look, let's cut the penalties out. It's 5-1 in favour of the Catalan Dragons. We can't afford to give possession away, field position, and give players like Giroud and Todd Carney and the eventual try scorer Zeb Taylor opportunities like that.
And this should be another formality for Scott Giroud. He's kicked 35 goals already this season. 36 in his goals for tally now. 12-4 the scoreline in Perpignan.
Well, we talked about it in warm-up with Brian Carney, and we said that probably the size and the power is with St Helens, but if Catalan can keep it fast, can keep it pacey, use their agility, and possibly with a big unit on the fringe like Zeb Taylor, then they're in with a real shout in this game. But Saints haven't had any decent possession for a good while now, so let's see when the momentum swings back their way what they can do.
Henderson having to regain his feet after claiming that restart.
And realistically, all the field position in this game has gone in Catalan's favour. The try that Saints scored was from the first defensive set of 6, and then the first set of 6 that they had close to Saints line, but all of a sudden the game's changed round.
It's been a big day in France. The French Cup final going on earlier in the day in Colomiers, and Toulouse Olympique have won that, beating Carcassonne 20 points to 12. And of course, Toulouse Olympique very much interested in a return to the championship and doing their credentials no harm at all with that victory. And here come the Catalan. It's Garcia again.
Incredible. Good leg speed, good strength from the prop turn centre.
Good kick, good crossfield kick. And Fouad Yaha is chasing that. But it just beats him, but he was giving it all he was worth, was the 18-year-old.
Well, that's what Saints need, a bit of enthusiasm now. They've spent large parts of this game defending. They need some energy from somewhere. Of course, the conditions, the heat, the humidity, it will sap the players' energy, but they need to find it from somewhere.
Well, when the heat comes on in Perpignan, Catalan Dragons normally hot up, and they need to after what has been a disappointing season so far for them. 8th in the table going into this game.
Another hefty challenge on one of the Saints kickers. I think it was Travis Burns, was it? Got hit as soon as he had kicked that ball. Good work from Percival. He's trying to apply some pressure, exert some energy.
This is better from Saints.
There we go, same 2 players again.
Casti, obviously keeping a close eye on Travis Burns. Here's Garcia. He's like a one-man rolling maul, isn't he? Casti. It's good defence this set from Saints. And not a great kick.
No, it's not, Bill. That really deserved a better kick. But I'm going to give the credit to Saints. You see the Saints players, the big fellas walking back a little bit now, trying to get some air back in the lungs. Let Shannon McDonald, let him take the first carry.
Shannon McDonald back in Super League, played 3 games last year, then broke his jaw. But with this injury crisis that Saints have got, and more disappointment, as James Child calls a knock on there.
Well, this is pressure again, defensive pressure.
Yeah, I think the ball must have gone onto an opposition player, must have lost it against somebody there. Yeah, I think that's what he's claiming. I suppose it's similar to the one we saw earlier on in the game where he was facing his own post, and it certainly looks like it's gone back that way.
Just be careful, all right? They're going to go short.
Well, Louis still asking the question to James Child, the referee. What Saints need to do here now is focus, concentrate. This is when Catalans are at the best. He's been absolutely outstanding this season.
I've said
Benjamin
it before,
Garcia.
Tez. I think he's got a circus mirror at home. Nobody's told him how big he is because he believes he's the biggest, tallest, strongest man on the pitch.
Well, he's definitely not the biggest, but he could be the strongest.
He's got the try that brought them level in this game. Catalan have gone on to take a 12-4 lead. And they're really dominating. Apart from that early phase, the first couple of minutes, they've been the dominant side. Oh, now they spill the ball. Muniz it was, couldn't collect it. Now then Saints.
Well, it's just been field position, Bill. I say apart from that first couple of minutes of this game, it's all been down this left side of the pitch. So I think Saints know that they need to complete a few sets of 6, find the feet in this game, turn the ball over when they want to turn it over, and just do the little things correct.
Julian Busquet on the field for the Catalan Dragons. And now they go out wide to Swift, scorer of the opening try. Walsh up to halfway, that's the 4th tackle. Walsh once more, back on the inside to Josh Jones. Burns trying to weave his way, escapes the clutches of a Dragon, and then again they go out to that Saints left, and Jordan Turner, strong run from him, great pass for Swift. Swift steps back infield, swats aside Escaré, gets his 2nd of the game. What a finish that was, what a build-up that was, what a response that is from St Helens.
Well, this is pure class. A little bit of off the cuff, ad hoc. That's the money ball from Jordan Turner. That's the experience of a born and bred, time-served centre. Split-second timing, and Adam Swift does incredibly well. I'm sure Morgan Escaré will want to do better in a situation like that next time. But Adam Swift gets the points for Saints. There you go. And put that try down to Jordan Turner, giving his winger a one-on-one. Not the best effort, as we said, from Morgan Escaré, but that gets Saints back in the game. That will get some wind in their sails, Tez.
Well, Adam Swift got a crucial try in the playoff game between these two sides last year when Catalan ended the season with that rousing run, took out Leeds and Huddersfield. Saints a game too far. And the rest, well, Saints fans celebrating at the end of the season. Travis Burns, again looking as though he's been in the wars, but again taking on the goal-kicking duties and again coming close, but just wide with another conversion attempt.
Well, let's get this right. This was a fabulous piece of skill. Just have a little look at that. That is what you call timing. To hold that ball, to just pass it, and it was a nice soft pass. It wasn't a rushed, hurried pass. And I agree with you, Barry. Adam Swift scores this try on the back of this fabulous ball. But Morgan Escaré needs to be better than that. The two youngsters colliding. And that's a good finish for Saints.
Just mystified, Stuart, what the Catalan fans were finding to boo.
Well, I think they were booing, and some of the players were approaching James Child, asking about a forward pass there on the way out. But we've seen it several times, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It was a great pass.
There might have been something wrong with that play of the ball. I think it's Greg Richards. And there's Louis Anderson introducing himself to the game.
Upending James Roby. The Saints supporters not happy with that challenge. It was high on the side.
Do you know what? He does really well to ride this tackle, because Elliot Whitehead had him in his sights, and if it was any other player, he would have knocked him backwards. And there's a penalty here now for back chat to the referee.
I think that's the second time he's been penalised, Ian Henderson.
Not in his career.
In the last 28 minutes.
Well, I think both cases of dissent were by him. He probably won't get another one, I wouldn't have thought. The original penalty was for the high tackle, which we saw there, and then Ian Henderson decided to have a word with James Child.
Although Mossy Masoi picking out Elliot Whitehead, saying if you can get off the line at me, well, I'm going to get the ball and run at you.
Henderson involved in the tackle on John Wilkin. Saints captain. And Saints, that ball batted down. Tackle count wiped clean. Great opportunity this for the Saints. Josh Jones with a good run. Tackles in the bag and a penalty to their name as well.
Well, Josh Jones, another fabulous youngster for this Saints signing, 21 years of age. He's already played 86 games for Saints, so they do give the youngsters an opportunity. And there's another one, young 19-year-old Greg Richards.
Bang in front of those posts. Roby, Walsh, Burns. Good strength from Travis Burns. Shannon McDonnell. Roby sizing up the lay of the land, thought he'd seen a gap for himself and very nearly exploited it. And the Saints queuing up here now. Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook takes the pass from Luke Walsh. Wrapped up by Zeb Taylor and Todd Carney. Sun glistening on those Catalan shirts as Roby. Walsh with a little kick, it's an excellent one, and Escaré is not going to get anywhere out of there.
Well, he has a look up, Luke Walsh. He drops the ball onto his foot. He's thinking that someone else is going to be there a bit quicker than Mossy Masoi. Well, then when Morgan Escaré gets the ball, all he can see is the big shadow in front of him. Takes the ball over the white line there.
Do you know, Tez, it's really difficult to explain the complexity of that kick. The way that Luke Walsh holds that ball, he kicks it on the point, trying to get it to bend and twist on an arc to stay in the field of play or the goal line for as long as possible.
Do you know, I love Ian Henderson. There's one, I think there's once or twice a game he goes down with cramp.
I bet you're in the minority there. I don't think the referees like him. I don't think they appreciate that bit of sportsmanship.
Well, it's the goal line dropout. Saints, after a rocky period for them, getting their chance to get a good share of possession and come back against the Catalan Dragons. Here is Greg Richards. As Terry said, another of the youngsters getting a good run in the side. Burns, quick hands, takes some punishment, does Burns. Again, a good pass. And Swift looked, he was expecting the whistle from the referee from that pass from Jordan Turner. He's got a hat-trick and the try is awarded, but even Adam Swift almost gave himself away there, but Swift gets the try. James Child didn't see anything wrong with it. And Saints are level.
Well, this is why the French fans are booing, because he gives himself up. Just keep playing to the whistle, and it's that man again, Jordan Turner. How composed has Jordan Turner been in this first half? When he pulls in those Catalans players, and again, look, it's a nice soft pass. It's not a bullet pass. Well, the fans booing, saying that that ball's gone forward. James Child, no problem with it.
I think the players are always a good indicator, and Adam Swift stops dead, doesn't he?
Well, I think this pass has gone forward, and we've got a touch us right in line there. I'm not really sure why that hasn't been picked up. It's certainly, you know, there's no momentum on the pass because the tackle stopped, and that ball does drift forward.
Well, I will guarantee Kieran Cunningham will say to Adam Swift, play to the whistle. Don't give yourself up. You ground that ball. If you think it's forward, it doesn't matter. It's what the referee thinks.
Play to the whistle is another way of saying be a better liar, isn't it? Carry on, regardless. I'll put it down to the quality run of the big Cumbrian forward, big Greg Richards, who breaks a couple of tackles, plays the ball quick. It's a scattered defensive line that gives Adam Swift an opportunity to get his hat-trick for the afternoon, and we've only played half an hour.
He's doubled his try tally already. 6 for the season now for Adam Swift, and he'd actually gone 6 games without a try until last week, so he's certainly back in the groove. Luke Walsh has taken over the goal-kicking duties from Travis Burns, and He is on target. And Saints are back in front. They led 4-0. They found themselves 12-4 down. Now they are 14-12 ahead after this controversial try.
Well, that play all on the front foot. The three crucial plays involved in that play were Walsh, Burns, Shannon McDonnell, who will eventually give a one-on-one opportunity to Jordan Turner. And I think he's a much underrated player, Jordan Turner. Adam Swift will take the try, he'll take the hat-trick, but literally has to catch it and put it down.
Never a dull moment in a Catalan Dragons game. Usually never a dull moment in the Catalan Dragons game, as the crowd tends to add to the occasion.
And Jordan Turner having to leave the field after supplying Adam Swift with a couple of tries.
Good run from Musi Masoi.
That is a good carry. 4 Catalan players.
And that's the 20-metre line, that. Young Savelio is on. He gains another 10. And that's what Saints need to do. Just keep knocking out the sets, keep chunking away those carries. 10 metres at a time will do, I'm sure.
14-12 the scoreline in Saints' favour. There we go, our French partners updating their scoreboard. And penalty going Saints' way. Steele in the tackle there.
Well, John Wilkin picking Scott Giroux out straight away. Thought he was going to run over the top of him, but the way that Scott Giroux dealt with that was to grab hold of the ball.
They do that, don't they, sometimes? Those smaller defenders, instead of ducking down and tackling underneath the ball, they target the ball and try and rip it out. And sometimes, because the bigger man has that momentum, it's an easy play. I can think of players like Gavin Clinch,
Clinch was fantastic, wasn't he?
Gavin the Pinch, as he used to be called. And Gary Connolly, in his day, was an expert at pinching the ball one-on-one like that.
John Wilkin again. Good tackle from Elliot Whitehead. Stood his ground, the former Bradford Bull. But Saints making ground now once again with Roby. Room for him to move. Savelio. Here is Roby once more. Walsh, quick hands, lovely try from St Helens. From McDonnell in the end, but what a lovely piece of work this was.
Well, it's tougher when you're on ground level to read this, but because of the movement again from the Saints players and Shannon McDonnell, as soon as Luke Walsh gets this ball, it goes across the back, and then the nice, again, soft hands from Saints. Whenever Saints are supplying this final pass for the teammates to score, it's not a rushed, it's not a hurried pass, and you can see that Julian Bousquet switches off, and as soon as you switch off, it's very difficult as a big forward to close that gap. He had eyes for Luke Walsh, he goes in to try and effect the tackle, he then switches off, and that's where the gap's created.
You just watch how many times he thinks his job is done. He shapes to the right, comes back to the left, then realised that Shannon McDonnell, a smaller man with a better agility, has him isolated. It's great play, Gregory Muniz and Julian Bousquet. They had an impossible decision to make. Top-rate skill on short.
Luke Walsh successful with his first conversion attempt after taking over the goal-kicking duties, bang in front of the posts. 2 more points for Saints, and they lead by 20 points to 12.
Well, you could watch this all day, couldn't you? They come out to the left, back to the right, and then expose the big men in the middle, who quite rightly, as Tez has said, have clocked off, hoping, wishing that ball was going out wide.
And Bill, this is a tough period, you know, when you're playing in the forwards and you've been asked to take the ball forward, you've been asked to dominate in defence. As you're starting to look at the clock and you realise that there's only a few minutes before half-time, they're the pressure, they're the danger times when you've got to make sure that you're focused.
Shannon McDonnell getting his first try since his return to the Saints ranks, answering the call because of this emergency or not an emergency, but Johnny Lomax out for the season. Paul Wellens trying to overcome injury. So Shannon McDonnell returning to the club, having made 3 appearances last year.
They seem to do it tough, don't they, Saints? Last year, missing key players. This year, missing key players, but still picking up the 2 points.
And still, if they win this one, back in second place in the table. And Catalan, they've got their players out. They've had injury problems. They don't seem to have coped as well.
On the road. They don't seem to cope on the road, Catalans, but it's definitely a fortress in the south of France.
Well, Saints are certainly storming it at the moment. They lead by 20 points to 12. Closing minutes of the first 40. It's really been an eventful 40 minutes. The game ebbing and flowing. Cracking pace as well. Fouadia, this 18-year-old. A lot of them around in Super League at the moment. A lot of the clubs bringing young players through.
I was just going to make the point, the successful teams, when you're in those periods where you pick up a couple of injuries, it's the quality of the kids, it's the quality of your second string. And I've talked before about the championship campaign, and whether you want to win a league title isn't how strong your 1 to 17 is, it's possibly the 17 after that, as we see. A nice bit of play from Catalan.
Giroud, lovely ball, finds Whitehead. Whitehead the dummy, and then the ball out wide.
Oh,
what a wonderful try, and it's another try for Benjamin Garcia. We have seen some great tries in this game already, and that is another one from the French international, Benjamin Garcia, his second of the game. What a try that was from the Catalan Dragons. Classic Dragons.
Well, it all comes from this offload, and we've seen a couple of tries from both sides. Ad hoc, playing what you see, he shapes to go inside, and Morgan Escaré is covered. Morgan Escaré, poor Morgan Escaré, only needs 1 try for 50. He thinks he's got it there. And an exceptional decision from the Canberra-bound England forward, who gives another simple run-in to Benjamin Garcia.
Lauren Fraser down on the sidelines. To be fair, it wasn't a simple catch. I mean, Garcia was motoring the ball.
It was a quality patch, and again, it's one of the most difficult skills. Rugby players predominantly are right-handed, which means the power when you're passing from right to left is pretty accurate. The other direction, you're trying to create the power with your non-dominant hand, which is your left, if you understand that, Bill.
I think no, left from the right.
Yeah. I think I do as well. I think I do as well. And it's on the button, over 10 metres, at pace.
And I think it illustrates the skill level in Super League. That is, you're talking about a second row forward, flinging a pass like that to a guy who is a prop, who is playing in the centres, who's got 2 tries in this game. What a statement that is about this sport.
And just to sum up what Barry was trying to say in that minute conversation he was having with us, that was a good pass. What he was trying to say was that was a very good pass.
Or can Scott Giroud improve on it? Probably. The last kick of this first half is on target. 18-20 the scoreline. Giroud's kicked him from the sidelines before against St Helens. Have a look at this.
Well, Elliot Whitehead, he's a tremendous player, and good players don't panic in all situations. You can see that he does enough. He pulls the players in. Adam Swift comes in. He makes the decision to close Elliot Whitehead down, which just leaves the space on the edge for Garcia. And Garcia, just put yourself where the action is. The ball's going out wide, and look at that. The powerful youngster, as I said earlier, Bill, he has been fantastic this year.
I tell you what, there's Saints fans at that end of the ground who are applauding that. So sportsmanlike from them. Well, what a first 40 this has been. Still a few seconds to go. Catalan 18, St Helens 20.
It's anybody's game, isn't it?
I suppose, I mean, we're enthusing about these tries being scored. If you're a defensive-minded coach or even a defensive-minded viewer, you probably aren't so thrilled.
Oh, which Saints are a defensive-orientated side. They've only conceded 220 points going into this game. I think the second best defensive record in Super League this year.
Ian Henderson still chipping away at the last. energetic player, still finds time to hold a running conversation with the referee. An eventful first 40 minutes at the Stade Gilbert Brutus. A flying start from Saints with Swift involved all the way. A hat-trick for him. Saints coming back from 12-4 down to lead 20 points to 12. Catalan with a brace of tries hitting the back. We are set fair for a cracking second half. Coming up on Sky Sports tonight, it's the Madrid Masters, and Andy Murray will be taking on Kei Nishikori at 7 o'clock on Sky Sports 3 for the opportunity to take on Rafa Nadal. The final of that, so that's at 7 o'clock on Sky Sports 3. Hard to pick the winner of this one at the Stade Gilbert Brutus. Saints just ahead, 20 points to 18 after a really rumbustious, rollicking first 40 minutes with no shortage of action for Barry and Terry to look back on.
Well, it was a perfect start for St Helens. A wonderful kick from Luke Walsh gave Saints field position, and they made maximum use of it. Adam Swift going in for the first of his hat-trick of tries in the first half. Simple put down in the corner. But from that point on, there was 10 minutes of Catalan quality. There's a slight question mark about an obstruction on Jordan Turner, but knocked back by the video referee. You see Jordan Turner make a decision on Elliot Whitehead, and the space and time is given to Benjamin Garcia, who's had an impressive opening first quarter. Another Catalan try quickly ensued. Big man on little man. Zeb Tayer against Travis Burns, and Percival can't stop the big man getting the ball down. But it was another try from Adam Swift. Love the quality in this try. Jordan Turner, just before he hits the ground, releases the ball one-handed to his winger Adam Swift, who gets another try in that left-hand corner. Exceptional play from the centre, who subsequently left with what looks like an injury.
Well, it's been an end-to-end game, and again, it's a carbon copy of the pass from Jordan Turner. There's the touch judge right on line, and he thinks there's nothing wrong with that pass. He doesn't call it as a forward. The French fans are baying and giving the referee, James Child, some stick, calling for it, and Adam Swift, well, he nearly gives himself up because he stops, he has a look at the ref. Morgan Esquire puts his hands up, and he can't believe he scores that try. Adam Swift, that's his hat-trick. Then Shannon McDonald, a little switch play, the inside swing back. And Shannon McDonald keeps his feet, and again, targeting those big, tired forwards. And just 1 second, you clock off, and all of a sudden, that ball will get you. But this was probably one of the tries of the game. Elliot Whitehead, just have a little look at this. That's sheer class and composure. Hits the multi-talented utility player, Benjamin Garcia, who doesn't break his stride to score this.
Well, it's Catalan Dragons 18, St Helens 20. A beautiful evening in Perpignan, and a game living up to these sort of conditions, perfect looking conditions. And well, the two coaches, while we've been enthusing about, as we've said, about the tries scored, surely they've got to be saying, look, we need to tighten this game up.
I think what Kieran Cunningham might say is, look what happened in the first 90 seconds. Let's play off the back of the kicking game of Luke Walsh and try and play some field position, give less penalties away, and just play with a bit of composure, because this Catalan side are very dangerous.
And Bill, you look at some of the mistakes that Saints made when they were defending. You can't knock their effort, you can't knock their energy when they're getting off the line. What you can knock sometimes is that when you get up really quick, you've got to slow down your steps as you're going into contact before you then explode and try and knock the opposing player to the ground. So make sure that you get up quick and you'd affect the tackle.
Well, it looks as though it's going to be a cracking second half in Perpignan. The game ebbing and flowing. Saints with a fantastic start, then seemingly having a grip on the game. Catalan coming back, just 2 points in it as we prepare for the second half. Join us after the break. Super League takes a break next weekend, but it's Challenge Cup action, and we will be at Lee Sports Village, in actual fact, to see Wigan Warriors take on Hull Kingston Rovers in that 6th round tie, and that's at 8 o'clock on Sky Sports 3 next Friday. And Hull Kingston Rovers will be hoping to do a little better than they did last time they met the Wigan Warriors. here in the First Utility Super League. Catalan Dragons 18, St Helens 20. The
Catch and put down, but you have to be in the right place at the right time. The second one, almost a carbon copy. Beautiful pass from Jordan Turner, who I hope he doesn't miss the second half, because I think he's provided some moments of pure quality.
Well, Saints players emerging, and there was a problem for Jordan Turner in that first 40 minutes. There was a problem for Todd Carney as well, who was pretty anonymous for the Catalan Dragons.
Well, he sets the bar high, Todd Carney, and when he came over to play for Catalans, he wants to go one further and get to the grand final come October. Well, I think the team or the halfbacks who were winning this clash, instead of we were talking about pre-game, Travis Burns and Luke Walsh. I think they've been very good, Bill.
Well, Luke Walsh, they've waited a long time to get him back out there, but worth the wait, having recovered from that broken leg. There is Carney, the leg strapped, and only his 5th game out of 13.
Yeah, and you're trying to almost analyse what the coaches and the messages that they will be giving them. I believe they'll be saying the fundamentals are key for us here. Complete our sets, hold on to possession, kick long, chase hard, and put some pressure when you're defending.
The sun dipping behind the new stand at the Stade Gilbert Brutus, the shadows lengthening up the pitch. Catalan in possession at the start of the second half, and Greg Muniz returning after injury in his 10th season of Super League with the Dragons. Great long servant to the club, Muniz. Carney puts the kick in. You can see that left thigh strapped, and the kick pretty comfortable for Swift.
Yeah, well, it wasn't the best. I'm sure he was trying to turn it behind Adam Swift, so he had to retreat and catch that ball, but a good take from the young winger. You talk about what will the sides be trying to do come this second half. Well, both sides will have a say in this game. Both sides will have opportunities and they'll have some decent field position, but it's what you do when you get that field position. Do you panic? Do you try and score every time you have the ball, or do you just try and keep building that pressure?
Two sides just testing each other out at the start of this second half. Saints leading by 20 points to 18. Roby. It's a warm evening. Energy sapping conditions as Walsh goes high. First time we've seen that particular kick used. Oh, and Cardass got it back.
Well, I think it's a knock-on anyway.
I think it is, you're right.
He knocks the ball on into the Saints player, doesn't he, Stuart?
He does, yes. So that's classed as a knock-on, even though it hasn't hit the ground. If it's an opposition player and he gets possession back, that's classed as a knock-on.
Well, it's that kicking game of Luke Walsh. It was high and hanging. There's the fumble. It was a good carry from the big fella, Mossy Massoy. He had the ball out in his right hand. He was looking for some support, but played the percentages. That gave a bit of time to Luke Walsh, who could put it as high as he wanted.
Ian Henderson chipping away, but a bit like the start to the first half, where Saints' first kick of the game caused Catalan problems. Well, the first kick of the second half has caused them problems, and can they capitalise on it? Greg Richards plays the ball. Walsh, Burns. Good hands, good defence as Wilkin is tackled. Roby, short ball from him. Mossy Massoy is stopped, and I think it's a penalty.
Offside. Marker's not square. Here's the decision from James Child.
Perfect start to this second half then. Wilkin. Giroud with the tackle, and Benjamin Garcia. Wilkin has lost the ball, and he is furious with that decision because the referee has adjudged it to be a knock-on.
Well, every time John Wilkin gets the ball, he has let look up, and the challenge is there for Scott Giroud to take him out. He's picked him out on a number of occasions. That ball,
Yeah,
when he's
it
lying
is.
on the floor, that
Yeah.
ball can't shoot out like
No,
that unless there's a hand in.
I agree.
Well, I don't think it's so much a hand in, but Scott Giroud trying to get back to marker dislodges the ball.
So what's
Now-
in there then?
No, he's
That's not
kicked
a hand.
the ball as he's gone past. He's kicked the ball as he's tried to get over the top of him.
I think he's slapped it with his hand, Stuart. I don't think we'll get another look at it, but Catalan get the ball back anyway.
Well, either way, whoever's right or wrong, it should have been
Yeah.
a penalty to send Helens.
Which means we are right.
As it is, it's head and feet at a scrum to the Catalan Dragons, and that is a fortunate break for them, shall we say.
Now, we talked about Saints line speed. Now, this is where you can get up really, really quick, and you don't have to focus on changing your steps because you're a bit tighter here. You've got the comfort knowing if someone steps you, you've got a teammate either side that's going to be close.
Henderson, again, he's been in France for too long, Ian Henderson. His 5th season at the Dragons, he's waving his arms around. Here he goes, the Scottish international. That's a good pass from him, but Carney is tackled immediately. And Travis Burns, and I think there was a word between the two of them there. That's a better kick from the Dragons. Hits the post, and it's still rolling, and eventually it's rolling over the dead ball line.
What about that for skill? Kicks it long and hard. Clips the beans on toast.
Here is the hat-trick man for St Helens, Swift, who plays the ball. Tommy Makinson on the other flank, hardly getting a look in.
Well, let them focus on Adam Swift, and then if they don't focus on Tommy Makinson, what will happen, Bill? He will score a spectacular 9.9 try in the corner,
With
taking out the flag.
With dive, yes, yep. £20 to 18. Saints on the attack. Burns with the pass. Percival is tackled by Zebtea. Roby kicks up the line, and Saints will be pleased with that.
That's another percentage kick. James Roby, you'd expect him to have that amount of composure. Jumps out at dummy half. They're the best kicks, in all truth. The coaches will be happy because everybody's on side. James Roby kicks the ball, leads the chase, it goes off the island, and that's the attention to detail that I think that Kieran Cunningham and Lauren Fresinu, that have both spoke to the teams about. Don't worry about the spectacular. What a sight that is. Fantastic travelling army from the Saints club. Don't worry about the spectacular, that will come. Let's focus on the small stuff.
Oh, and there's a fair bit of back-chatting going on out there because Saints have been marched 10 now.
Well, he's not having it, James Child, is he?
Well, I think he's certainly put his marker down from right at the start of the game. You know, offsides and dissent. He's not going to stand any of it. So, you know, the message should get through to the players.
That was a scrum offence originally.
The scrum offence for offside at the scrum.
Well, it's cost Saints a fair amount of territory. And here is Greg Muniz now, survivor of the 2007 Challenge Cup final when these two sides met at the new Wembley. Here is Garcia. What a talent.
He always breaks the first tackle, doesn't he?
Henderson, Giroud, Remy Casti. None of your Benjamin Garcia type flashiness from Remy Casti. Giroud, well, that's a loose pass, and it's Garcia who picks it up and gets the ball back in field to Todd Carney. Carney, Ellimer almost having a rush of blood, but takes the tackle. Giroud, cross-field kick. Whitehead will chase that, but it's too deep, and Swift is able to gather and bring it back for St Helens.
I'm not sure Todd Carney's right. In that sort of field position, you'd be looking at Todd Carney taking on the line. You'd be looking at Todd Carney looking up and just trying to break down the Saints' defensive line. He's not doing that in this game.
He's got that thigh strapping on, which he got early on when he chased a kick, I think, into the Saints in-goal area. I think he's probably desperate to stay out there after the injury problems he's had.
Yeah, I'm a huge admirer of Todd Carney, but in this game, he just seems to be a passenger at the minute.
How long can Laurent Fresinu persist with that? Desperate to get Carney and Giroud into action together. It's the dream ticket in the halves for the Catalan Dragons, but They haven't had the ticket too often this season. Kick downfield is comfortable for Escaré. Fuad Yaha is alongside him. And look at this guy go. Whoa! He's got some pace, but then the ball comes out in the tackle.
Well, he thought about the offload, pulled it back in, and that split second of hesitation, the door of opportunity shut, pins his ears back. It's a nice ball from Morgan Escaré. He showed it to the outside. Watch it, thinks about it there. Oh, and there's a strip.
Yeah, I think that ball was stolen there. It's not as if it's in the action of the tackle. The tackle's complete, and there's a definite...
Should that be play on at that point?
There's a definite pulling action on the ball. Well, it should have been play on, but the ball went into touch anyway, so it should be Catalan ball, but I think it's going to be Saints ball.
Well, it's evening itself out, isn't it? These calls.
Things in games normally do. A couple of calls will go against you, a couple of calls will go for you.
And as a player, Tez, you can't get embroiled in all that. You just gotta get on with your job, as Alex Walmsley's doing here, trucking it forward, gaining the meters. He's the meter eater of Super League. Alex Walmsley gains more territory than anybody else in the league,
with the fewest strides, probably.
Yes. 6 foot and a million he is.
Do you know what else he makes for Saints? The more tackle busts and more offloads. But he's bound to make more offloads. Look at the size of him. He rides those tackles.
Saints now on the attack. Here is Shannon McDonald, first half try scorer for the Saints. It's the 5th tackle. And Burns hoists the kick. Nobody wants that one. And Escaré and Yaha happy to see that one go over the dead ball line.
Probably the chase from Saints wouldn't have been there. Kieran Cunningham would be saying, if any ball, and if we're 20 metres from the opposition's line, when that ball goes high, make yourself available and chase it hard.
Well, we had a points fest in the first 40 minutes with 10 minutes into this second half, and yet to trouble the scorers, these two.
Well, a few penalties early on in this second half, going in favour of Catalans. Trying to control, trying to slow down the French side.
Giroud with the instructions. Here he is now. Jason Bitteri back into the action from the bench for the Catalan Dragons. Giroud once more. Remy Casti. Lou McCarthy, Scarsbrook and Travis Burns doing the tackling, and Giroud finds Zeb Taylor. Zeb Taylor gets the pass away, and now here's Yaha. Yaha gets the pass back in field, but Zeb Taylor sums up the frustration. He couldn't get it back in field in time.
It's a lovely line and a well-weighted pass, wasn't it, from Scott Giroud to Zeb Taylor.
It's a shame Zeb Taylor's pass wasn't as weighted. He spins it. Doesn't need a spin on it, he needs to float it.
Yeah.
And it's behind Yaha. But great cover, Tommy Makinson. What he's lacking for in his attack, he's making up for in his defence. And Scott Giroud, well, certainly they'll want to see him back on his feet.
Well, that's all they need. To lose Scott Giroud and Todd Carney not being fit. The lovely pass.
I've no problem with that from Walmsley. He's got there just in the nick of time, and it is a facet of the modern game where the inside big men, inside defenders get up and put pressure on those decision makers. You can't afford to give players like this time and space. It looks like he's an ankle problem, maybe under the weight of the big fella Alex Walmsley. His ankle might have rolled underneath him.
Well, coaches talk about don't let the halfbacks play in a dinner suit, which means don't let them run at the line, put the play on that they're after putting on. You work really hard from the inside and put pressure on, force them to play, force them to make that pass.
You're strapping going on there, but you've got Todd Carney with, there he is, chatting with Travis Burns. Todd Carney not fully fit by the look of things. Scott Giroud quite obviously hobbling. It's not ideal, is it?
No, it's not. The two key men that you want, bossing you around, especially if you're a middle unit player. You want the direction from those creative players.
Well, there's a lot at stake here, of course. Saints can go back up to second. Catalan can maintain that top 8 fight. So it's not just the 2 points, league position. Everybody jostling to get as high as they can as we approach the 3/8s.
And Saints win would cut Leeds' lead at the top to just a point. Leeds with still a game against Widnes to come, but Leeds, they may have won their last 11 with Widnes, including 5 in a row at the Select Security Stadium, but they've got this tremendous home record of the Vikings, so it's not a gimme. Meanwhile, Saints just on course to reclaim second place, but a long way to go in this game. Giroud hobbles towards the play the ball, just gets there in time.
And they need discipline in this set of 6. The last few times they've been down here defending, they give up those cheap meters. They've worked really hard with the ball. They've come up with a good kick chase. The contact's been exceptional in this game, turning the Catalan players onto the back, which makes it a slow play, the ball.
Bateri. And the kick is out on the full.
You're right, Tez. He's not 100% him. He looks like, and I got the feeling the last game we called, he didn't want anything to do, any kind of contact, and he's very gingerly trying to avoid it as best he can.
He knocks that ball out though, but let's give some praise to Luke Thompson. Another youngster who's been excellent, getting off the line, putting pressure on those kickers. He knows it's coming up to the last play in the game. The young barnstorming front rower, stroke loose forward. And that's the difference. James Roby, you've got Luke Walsh, you've got Travis Burns talking, directing the troops. And then with some of the Catalan players, they're just, at the minute, they're just going within the shell.
Walmsley and Elmer.
Well, there's a bit of dominance, a bit of showmanship there. I'm over you, you're not over me. Watch Walmsley. He doesn't want to allow his opposite number. Look, there you go. Just jostling for who's got their arm on top.
Well, nobody did in the end, Stuart.
A bit of the dark arts.
No, not really binding correctly there. I think they're just happy to get away from the scrum and get on with it.
Here is Walmsley, and Elmer making the tackle. Great contest there. Roby, Walsh, Burns, McDonald finds Swift. Swift comes back in field.
They're good signs if you're a Saints player, a Saints fan. Look how many players are moving forward.
Walmsley doing well to pick that one up. He had to react. He's a big guy, Alex Walmsley, but he put the brakes on.
He has got sheer effort. That's what he's got, Alex Walmsley.
Here's Burns. He's brought down by Zebtea. And Travis Burns has got a knock. Another knock. The referee.
And he is a tough nut. He doesn't stay down. Does he catch one here? I think he catches a knee of Oliver Elmer. Yeah.
Is it the twist when he gets turned over?
I'm not so sure there's any foul play in there.
No.
I think Elmer's looking to get his leg over the ball, isn't he, really?
Elmer's trying to turn him onto his back. While the player was laying on his legs, maybe they might have twisted the bottom of his back.
Well, somebody's giving him a black eye.
He's been in the wars, the lad, hasn't he?
That ball's gone to ground, meanwhile, as we resume play. And scruffy end to that set for Saints.
But they're turning the ball over where they'd like to. Oh, there you go. There you go.
Well, I know who I fancy in that one.
Go on.
Walmsley, hands down.
Remy Casti, he's another warrior. Zebtea.
So is he as well.
Henderson.
Oh!
See, it's oh! Somebody's turned up the volume.
Do you know, toughness in rugby league is not how many times you can throw a punch and make it land on somebody's chin. It's how many times you will take that ball forward. Another good kick, a lot of distance on that, just too much. But the Saints players have got to get back behind the ball now.
It was almost inch perfect, and unlike, I think it was Tommy Makinson who got it wrong in the first half, Adam Swift gets 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and then collects the ball.
Perfectly timed. That gives him the 20-metre restart, and that's why Saints are where they are now.
Greg Richards plays the ball. Still waiting for the first points of the second half. 20 points to 18. And the penalty, I think, goes in favour of St Helens. Jason Bateri mystified by that decision. The referee says there was a Catalan hand in.
Well, it's the innocent look, isn't it, to the referee, James Child. Mark Percival, the man who goes into the tackle, loses the ball, but straight in front of the touch judge on the far side. That's a good kick, good distance from Luke Walsh.
Now here's Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook. Jason Bateri stood his ground there.
Oh, he's hurt him. He's hurt him.
Hurt him with the ball and all.
He's left two on the floor. Well, he's that big, he's that strong, he's that powerful.
Well, it is a matter of physics. If you run harder than the man who's trying to tackle you, you're going to come out on the better side. And sometimes there's a bit of bravado as well. He might be just as hurt, Alex Walmsley, but he gets up, he plays his ball, because that's his job. And Elmer stays down.
Banging the ribs by the look of things, Olivier Elmer. Back in the side, having missed the defeat against Castleford last week. Back on his feet. He won't shirk a challenge.
Well, that's 1-0. That's 1-0. Alex Walmsley plays his ball. Fractured defensive line.
I don't think Olivier Elmer will shirk the next challenge.
No. Do you know what? That'll inspire him. You can bet your bottom dollar that Olivier Elmer will fly off the line and try and square it up with Alex Walmsley.
Play resumes. And here comes Saints. Oh, that's a great challenge. I think that is Garcia.
Yeah, that was well read, that. Could see that play coming off Garcia.
He just continues to impress, this young man. 22 years of age. But here is Greg Richards for the Saints. Roby, Walsh, little dink kick. Making some bats it down. It comes up for Catalan.
What we've seen at Garcia this year, I'd say, is one of the hottest young properties knocking around the game.
And just a little word on that kick to the corner. We haven't seen anything from Catalan, and it's been their trademark in recent years. Kicks to the corner, kicking it into the path of Cardas and Yaha. Will we see one of them in the next 20-odd minutes, 22 minutes or so?
Well, he's been consistent, James Child, hasn't he, in this game? That's a brilliant shot and a brilliant, fabulous read from Garcia on Shannon McDonald.
Travis Burns sporting the scars of battle in... It is an intriguing battle in Perpignan between these two sides. Saints beaten 42-0 on this pitch last year and beat Catalan 18-7 at the start of this season. And I remember it well, a cold, rainy night in February. High shots.
Yeah, Greg Richards goes over the top of Remy Casti. It wasn't a swinging arm, he just goes over the top of him. Jason Battieri coming in just to say, come on mate, pull him down a bit. But nearly 20 minutes into this game and there's still not been a point in this second half, has there?
When you think how free-flowing it was in the first quarter, that's almost bizarre.
38 points in that first half.
It's as though they're feeling each other out. Did he go for two points here?
They are going to go for two. Well, first half, they didn't want to know.
Well, keep the pressure on. This is how close it is. points are tough to come by.
An army of people take to the pitch in Perpignan.
We're just thinking that, Bill. There's some interesting attire as well. They're all in jeans.
I think they are the sound people from French television.
Well, the referee's technicians, they have their own technician out there for every game who's trying to sort out the comms. As it's important at this stage of the game that the touch judges can hear the referee and vice versa, so it's an important bit of kit for them.
I don't think they did in the first half. Scott Giroux. Well, it's just about bang on to the post, but it's a fair old distance out. It's the other side of the 40-metre line.
Well, looking at the trees in the background, the wind looks like it's going in that direction.
We've done this before this season, looking at the trees, and then people have...
No, I'm on it. I'm like a weatherman here.
Well,
Bill.
we're just about to approach the final quarter, and I still haven't got a winner on this. I couldn't tell you who's going to take the spoils. I think potentially Saints have got enough, but Catalan won't lie down. Interesting final quarter ahead.
The referee still has held the clock. Giroux has still not put this ball down for his attempt on goal. Well, Scott Giroux has kicked 37 goals now this season. And this to level the scores. And Giroux has missed with it. 18-20, the scoreline remains. And the players will be grateful for that break, won't they?
Yeah, they will be, and they're still going to get the ball back. Scott Giroux, normally very dependable with that boot. A couple of points gone amiss, but still, so they get the ball back, decent field position. Can they create some chances?
It's Tommy Makinson who restarts in with the drop out from the 20, and here is Casti.
Right, where's Ellimer and where's Walmsley?
There is Olivier Ellimer, and Ellimer gets the pass away. Elliot Whitehead was on his shoulder. Giroux seems to have recovered from that ankle problem. Oh, that's a lovely ball back in field by Carney to Escaré. Escaré on the outside. What another beautiful finish in this game, and we have seen some tries, but Morgan Escaré gets 50 in his career, his first for 5 games. And Todd Carney, we said he'd had a quiet game, but just one pass and he unlocks the Saints defence.
Well, it's just one little piece of brilliance, that's all you're after. Scott Giroux to Carney, you're looking at, again, targeting that big man who can't get across, and it was Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook on that occasion who just couldn't close the gate. And Morgan Escaré, another French fabulous talent that just has the speed, and he gets around Shannon McDonald and he makes it look so easy. He just drops it down again, and just have a little look at the acceleration, the inside pass, the timing, knocks it down a gear, goes round to the corner and then comes back round to go close to the sticks, which should make it an easy conversion.
And look how Todd Carney enjoyed that. Frustrating time for him it must be at the moment, because he just can't get a good injury-free run in the side, and just glimpses of what he could do, contributing to that try certainly. And Giroux, well, he missed with that long-range penalty a moment ago, but this should be a success for him. And Catalan, with the first points of the second half, are back in front.
Well, we've had virtual deadlock in this first half. It was a quality pass that split the defence of St Helens, but that's all about pace. That's the half-century from the little man.
Escaré, who got 29 tries last year, just his 3rd so far this season, so it's not proving as fruitful for the Catalan Dragons full-back. And Saints resume. trailing again now, St Helens.
And just as we say that he's injured, he's not been in this game in the second half, well, he's the one who has all the answers to set that try up. Scott Giroux looks like he's run that ankle injury off, and Remy Casti, again, when you're bringing the ball away as a forward, you're looking at picking out one of the smaller players, and the reason for that is to try and win that play of the ball, try to win that battle, don't be dominated.
Well, it was James Roby who got up and stuck his shoulder right
Luke
into
Thompson
the chest.
Again.
Giroux's pass is a wild one. It was a good job for him. He found Elliot Whitehead. He's still trying to get the pass away. Elliot Whitehead, he still might. He does. Well, he's an adventurous second rower, is Elliot Whitehead. Off to the NRL next season. Giroux's kick is charged down. Swift can't get there in time.
Well, this will be Catalan's ball. Again, the pressure from Saints, from John Wilkin on that occasion. Scott Giroux with the kick, it ricochets off the Saints back rower. John Wilkin goes into touch, so head and feed again, and more pressure from Catalans.
Remy Casti has been strong this second half for the Catalan Dragons.
We've had to set the platform. We've seen a little mini battle between Alima and Walmsley, and there's a tussle going on in the forwards for dominance, for authority.
24-20, the Catalan Dragons lead in Perpignan. Zebtea unable to offload that ball. Here is Henderson. Tackled by Travis Burns. Great competitor, Burns. Carney. Jason Bateri now. Three tackles gone as Henderson, Giroux. Here is Casti once more. Casti breaks free of the first Saints tackler, avoids another challenge, and the referee's whistle sounds, and I think that might be another Catalan
High
penalty.
shot. Yeah, it's another high shot here. It's Luke Thompson around the neck of Remy Casti, but because he keeps his feet, because he keeps on going forward, the referee doesn't pull the play up just in case he makes a break.
Giroux for the posts.
Will it be another two-point attempt here? Should imagine it will be. Well, they seem to have upped the tempo, Catalan.
It's been almost a different game this second half, hasn't it? The first half was free-flowing, open, and well, that's not a pretty sight. And this second half has been really tight.
It has. Well, there was nothing in it in the opening 10 minutes of the second half, and then all of a sudden it seemed to have got in the favour.
And that could be down
of Catalan
to the coaches who perhaps prefer the attritional approach to the game.
Giroux! Not convincing from this distance. But it's on target, and it gives Catalan a 26-20 lead.
And what you could see Catalan doing as we go down into the final 10 minutes of this game is just working at centre field, because points have been tough to come by in the second half. Keep hold of it, he's saying to his players. He's telling the edge players to play with good shape, play it nice and tight. Let's go for that one-pointer.
Still plenty of time in this game. Saints will have their turn, that's for sure. Ellimer recovered from that bang in the ribs. Kyle Amor back on the field. Here's Henderson now. Jason Bateri. Didn't play in the opening round game against St Helens, but he's been a fixture since then for the Catalan Dragons. Henderson, he's a tough cookie as well.
He is, picks out the biggest man in the Saints shirt and runs straight at him.
Casti gets another high one, does he?
Do you know, they're not the biggest of forwards, the Catalan, but tell you what, they goers. Could have been another penalty, that. Could have been another penalty.
The kick is fielded by Swift.
And that's not a bad set of 6, is it, Barry?
No. Catalan just slow and steady, get to the kick, put the pressure on Saints. Saints need to find something now.
Coming up next on Sky Sports 3, Andy Murray, his semi-final against Kei Nishikori. And Nadal awaits the winner of that. Tomorrow evening you'll be able to see that on Sky Sports. Murray against Nishikori coming up next after this entertaining tussle between Catalan Dragons and St Helens has been resolved. At the moment it's just edging in favour of the Catalan Dragons, but Saints still with time to turn it round again. They've done that in this game already this evening, but it's been a much more controlled second half from both sides in actual fact.
They've both been very pragmatic. They've been prepared to perhaps look at the game plan that they set off at the start of the week with. I think Jordan Turner leaving the pitch has altered the way that Saints have played. I think it's LMS who's in the centre spot, vacated by Jordan Turner.
Well, he is turning out to be a versatile player, Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook, but given the influence Turner had early on in the game, setting up those 2 tries for Adam Swift, that is a big loss.
And he was facing Benjamin Garcia, who's not a natural centre, as we've said, a very accomplished, very talented player, but not an...
That's a good kick from Catalan, and Makinson with work to do, going across the field and finding his wing colleague Adam Swift.
Well, these are the little things now that Catalan are concentrating on. Getting through the set to 6, kicking it down, having a good defensive chase and getting numbers in to the tackle. Saints were winning those collisions and those little battles in the first half.
That's good defence, and Wilkin is brought down. That's 3 tackles gone. The Saints struggling to make some progress. They need a big moment. They need a penalty. Amor going for it there.
And it's not as direct for Saints, it's a bit lateral.
Now they go wide. This could be promising because Josh Jones has got away. Josh Jones has got Swift outside him, and Swift could be on for 4 here. He is. 4 tries in the game for Adam Swift. Nonchalantly celebrates. Never mind pulling your socks up, son, you've got 4 tries.
Well, it's a shift for Saints, and it's Josh Jones in the centre, of course, not Louis McCarthy-Scarsbrook. He's got some experience there, shows composure, makes the right decision, and Adam Swift, for the 4th occasion this afternoon, gets a try for St Helens, gets them back in this game, and this game is there for any team to take. A really crucial 10 minutes coming up, and Adam Swift has been lethal this afternoon. 4 tries.
It's 5 tries in the last 2 games for Adam Swift then. Now then, Luke Walsh. This to level the scores. We are set for a rousing finish to this one. The Catalan players grouped there, just readying themselves for the last 8 minutes or so of this contest, which if Walsh gets this one on target, will be all square. Catalan supporters doing their best as Walsh prepares to launch this one towards the Saints fans at that end of the ground. They salute him. 26 all the scoreline.
And just as I said, they weren't playing as direct as what they should be. They play lateral, they play wide. The ball from John Wilkin hits Josh Jones, and the thing's been around for ages, the young 21-year-old. Gets rid of a couple of players, passes the ball to Adam Swift, and what a field day that youngster's had in the south of France.
First blot on Benjamin Garcia's copybook, maybe?
Even though he's had an impressive opening 40 minutes with the ball, I thought Jordan Turner had him in his back pocket. And Josh Jones looks to be trying to do the same.
Well, I said Saints would have their turn, and they've come back again. 26 all. I don't think this is going to be settled by a one-pointer.
No, this is a good set of 6 as well from Saints. The concentration, just the simple plays. The more field position they can get here, it could turn into an attacking kick.
Remember, only Leeds have won in Perpignan this season.
Are you still going for Catalans, Tez?
Well, I tipped them last night.
Yeah.
I went for the upset last night.
What's your thoughts now?
Because of the home form.
Answer the question.
I might go for a draw.
I'm going to stick with my bet. I still think Saints have got this if they want it.
Carney. Here is Muniz. 4 tackles gone. Henderson. Giroud. Julien Busquet now. Another big man. Talk about Dane Tilse and him being a towering figure, but there's quite a few of them around. I mean, Walmsley,
Well,
Julien
Springer
Busquet
as well.
Gadwin Springer, yeah. Shannon McDonnell. Gadwin Springer, who was the 18th man for the Catalan Dragons, and looks like a good prospect for them.
What I will say about Catalans, if they are to go on and win this game, we've already seen Todd Carney set up the try in the second half. For Catalan, they need Todd Carney, and they also need Scott Giroud to step up in the final 6 minutes of this game.
Coming up towards the final 6 minutes, inside the final 6 minutes then, and Saints with Lou McCarthy, Scarsbrook going on a good run, cutting back infield. And then Walsh, little kick through the middle. Woof. Giroud almost catching Escaré off guard.
Well, he was under pressure, wasn't he, from Travis Burns.
I think he's ruled the tackle's complete and then
Yeah.
the ball stolen. So that's the penalty.
Greg Richards thinking he might have just got there before the tackle was complete, but it's a welcome penalty for Catalan. Now then, Louis Anderson. Catalan trying to get upfield to get within range of a one-pointer. Muniz now.
Scott Giroud just asking his teammates to just keep pushing forward.
Busquet. Busquet is tackled, says the referee. Henderson now. Henderson will snipe. And they go wide with Zebtea now, and Zebtea, well, great footwork from Zebtea, straight through the middle and under the posts for the Catalan Dragons. They'd managed to shackle him, Zebtea, but he gets his second try of the game, and Catalan are back in front.
Well, that's the problem. The initial problem comes from 3 Saints players not being able to ground and take to ground Julien Busquet. Henderson gets out, and it's good footwork from the Cook Island international. Spins out of a couple of tackles. He can't believe his luck when he grounds that ball underneath the post. Have a little look, under pressure from Percival, gets rid of Walmsley, beats Kylie Moore, beats Shannon McDonnell, and that's a good finish.
It's better than good, says. It's sensational. 2 or 3 times that run, scything, piercing run that Zebtea was on should have been stopped. We've talked before about his size, his power, his skill, his instinct, and those Catalan fans, they appreciate the effort that the Dragons have put in this afternoon. It's been an outstanding contest.
Scott Giroud then is cooling down. The way this game, though, has ebbed and flowed, you would not put it beyond Saints to come back once again. They have shown great resilience in this game, but they've had to contend with some sparkling play from this Catalan Dragon side, exemplified by that Zebtea try, converted by Scott Giroud. Catalan lead 32-26.
Well, this is an individual try. Henderson pops out from dummy half. Footwork, speed, pace, lethal finish. And I agree with you, Bill. I don't think this game is finished. It's whether the Saints players have got it within them to come back once more to get 6 points and square this game up.
And surely this is going to go short.
Makinson has, well, not that short. And time underneath it for Elliot Whitehead.
Yeah, too much distance on that.
They will get the ball back again. If they defend this set cleanly, they'll get the ball back. Roughly about 60 seconds in possession.
How many times have we seen Zeb Taylor, do you know, come up with plays like that?
I think most teams in the league would sign Zeb Taylor.
Yeah.
He can play in the backs, in the forwards, he can do the tough stuff. He's got finesse.
Coming up to the final couple of minutes then. Carney. Julian Bousquet. It's been a sensational contest, this. Some great tries scored. Carney, was that a...
It looked like
it wasn't a attempt. Well, that's
it looked like it.
Strange move to make. Still 2 minutes to go.
But the clock ticking all the time. Vital second. I don't think he's going to break and score a full lengther, but he might well set the platform. I think this is the final set of possession for Saints.
Catalan have got to keep their concentration. Saints have got to find some inspiration. Roby, Luke Walsh, surely the man for that sort of inspired moment. Shannon McDonald among the try scorers in a Saints score sheet dominated by Adam Swift. Walmsley gets the pass away to Richards. Swift with four tries, and he could end up on the losing side. Richards has knocked the ball on in his desperation to get that played quickly. Roby disputing.
They're saying he should have cleared the ruck, Henderson.
Yeah. And again, it's another penalty for back-chatting to the referee.
Do they have a point, Stuart?
Well, I don't know yet. I haven't seen how the ball came out. You know, so does he lose the ball when everybody's clear of him and just drops it? But the penalty was for Luke Walsh actually applauding or clapping at the referee. So again, he's been consistent with that all the way through.
Penalty to the Catalan Dragons, and that surely puts an end to Saints' hopes. Well, there's the indication. It was for back chat, but it's what happened before then that we was curious about.
It's because the Saints players were saying that Ian Henderson was in the ruck, which made Greg Richards lose the ball.
He can't just get out of the way, though, can he? I mean, you have to see.
He's got to get out of the way, hasn't he?
You can't just disappear, though.
He's got to attempt to get out of the way. That's the rule.
I said that to you last night about that loose arm, Stuart.
That was a different thing altogether.
Catalan, are they setting up for 1 point? Yes, they are. And it's from Giroud, and that puts the lid on it. He's done it against Saints again. He did it from the touchline in 2012. He's done it in Perpignan, and the Saints are left disconsolate. The Catalan supporters are on their feet to salute their side. So often this season they haven't delivered, but they have on this occasion. 33-26. And Giroud is on target. And Benjamin Garcia, outstanding for the Catalan Dragons in this win. Swift with 4 tries, but it's Catalan who celebrate a 33-25 win. Coming up next, follow that, Andy Murray and Kei Nishikori on Sky Sports 3 next in the ATP Madrid Masters Tennis. And next week, we'll follow that, Wigan and Hull Kingston Rovers in the Challenge Cup. 8 o'clock, Sky Sports 3. Catalan have beaten St Helens 33-25. What a game. Goodbye.